Hawkins was quiet again, too quiet. Mike Wheeler had spent years trying to pretend everything was normal. School, friends, cold pizza, video games. But every night, when his room went dark, the truth always came back. He missed her. The girl with the soft voice and the impossible strength. The girl who saved his life more times than he could count. The girl who disappeared into the void and never came home. For 5 long years, Mike convinced himself she was safe somewhere. Some other world, some other life. But deep down, he feared the truth. Maybe she was gone forever. That night, the winter rain fell hard over Hawkins. Angry, cold, restless. Mike sat by his bedroom window listening to the storm. The raindrops sounded like old memories knocking on the glass. Then, a soft electric hum. The lights flickered. His breath caught. A shadow moved in the backyard. Mike grabbed his flashlight, heart pounding. He raced downstairs and pushed open the back door. There, standing in the rain, soaked and shivering, barefoot like the first day she arrived in his life, was 11. Her hair was longer now, her face older, eyes tired. But unmistakably hers. She whispered one word, fragile as the storm behind her. Mike. He froze. All those years of silence shattered in a single heartbeat. Elle, he whispered back, voice breaking. Before he could think, he stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her. She trembled. He held her tighter. She was real. She was alive. She came back. But something was terribly wrong. Her shoulders shook, as if she was holding back secrets heavier than the storm. Mike, she whispered, I didn't want you to see me like this. He gently lifted her chin. Hey, it's you! That's all that matters. Lightning flashed behind them, lighting the moment like a photograph burned into the world. This was not the end. This was the beginning of something new, and something dangerous. Because 11 had returned, but she wasn't alone. Something followed her, and Mike felt it watching him from the trees. Mike brought 11 inside gently, like she might disappear again if he moved too fast. She stood in the doorway, dripping rainwater onto the carpet, scanning the house with cautious, wounded eyes, as if she didn't fully trust reality yet. He gave her his hoodie. She slipped it on slowly, almost afraid it wouldn't fit, like a dream she didn't want to wake from. You're freezing, Mike said softly. She nodded but didn't speak. In the warm glow of the living room lamp, he finally saw it. Her hands were trembling uncontrollably. Elle, what happened to you? Her jaw tightened. Her breath stuttered. I can't talk about it, she whispered. He moved closer. You're safe here. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. Her eyes glistened. I'm scared, Mike. He swallowed hard. I know, but I'm here. 11 looked around the house again, her gaze lingering on each memory. The couch where they played games, the hallway where they argued, the kitchen where she tried to cook and burned everything. Life that belonged to a different world, a world she no longer knew how to return to. Mike sat across from her. Elle, where were you all these years? She hesitated, her fingers twisting the edge of his hoodie, her breath shaking, her eyes dimming into fear. There's a place, she whispered. A place worse than the Upside Down. Mike's heart dropped. Worse? I escaped. But it found me. She looked at him, her voice cracking. And now it's coming here. The house suddenly creaked. A cold breeze slipped under the door. Mike felt it. A chill that didn't belong to the weather. What followed you? Her voice broke into a whisper. A shadow that knows my name. Chapter 3. The shadow that remembers. The storm outside grew louder. Wind rattled the windows. The lamp flickered once, then steadied. Mike sat closer. What do you mean something followed you? 11 stared at her trembling hands. I thought I lost it. I ran for months, I hid. I tried to forget. Her voice cracked. But shadows remember. Mike felt his stomach twist. Elle, you don't have to face this alone. She looked up slowly, eyes dark with exhaustion, fear settling like frost in them. There were others. Like me, she whispered. Not just lab kids. Stronger, broken. Mike leaned forward. What happened to them? Her breath shuddered. They disappeared. One by one, taken. Taken by what? She swallowed. By the thing that learned our names. Our fears. Our memories. The room suddenly went cold. Mike's breath fogged faintly. Elle! He moved beside her. Tell me what it wants. She closed her eyes. It wants everything I left behind. Her lips trembled. It wants you. The lamp flickered again. This time longer. Mike froze. 11 suddenly grabbed his wrist. Her grip was tight, desperate. "Don't let go of me," she whispered. "Whatever happens tonight, don't let go." The front door creaked open a fraction. Even though the lock hadn't been touched, a thin line of darkness seeped through the gap. A shadow with a pulse. Mike's heart slammed in his chest. "El, is that—" She nodded slowly, eyes wide. "It found me." The shadow stretched across the floor like silent ink, creeping toward them. "Hungry?" Familiar. 11 stood up, stepping between Mike and the darkness. Her voice was small but steady. "You'll have to go through me." Chapter 4. The night it spoke our names. The shadow thickened, stretching like a breathing fog across the living room floor. Mike pulled 11 back, but she stepped forward instead. "El, wait!" She raised her hand, trembling but steady. A low, distorted whisper slid across the walls. "Elivina!" Mike felt the air freeze. The voice sounded like 100 echoes layered together. All familiar, all wrong. 11 clenched her jaw. "I told you. It remembers us." The shadow rose, forming the vague shape of a person. Faceless but tall, moving like liquid night. Mike backed up until he hit the wall. His heartbeat hammered in his ears. "El, don't do this alone." She didn't answer. Instead, she closed her eyes, and the room vibrated. Tiny objects began to float. Keys, pencils, a mug, all slowly rising as her power woke up again. The shadow hissed. "M-I-K-E?" Mike froze. Hearing his own name from a thing made of darkness felt like being touched by ice. 11 snapped her eyes open, glowing faintly with soft red light. "Don't you dare speak his name." For a moment, Mike saw something break across her face. Fear, anger, guilt, pain, years of running, carrying burdens alone. The shadow lunged. 11 pushed forward with a scream, and a shockwave burst from her. The lamps shattered. The windows shook violently. The shadow splintered into pieces of smoke, but then reformed, stronger, taller. "El, stop, you're hurting yourself." Her nose began to bleed. Her knees trembled, but she didn't stop. This time she whispered, "I'm not losing him again." Her power flared, blinding white for a moment. The shadow recoiled, shrieking silently. Then, silence. The room went still. 11 collapsed into Mike's arms, breathless. He held her tight. "El, look at me." "You're safe." "I'm here," she whispered with her eyes half closed. "It's not gone. It's just waiting." Mike swallowed hard. That meant the night wasn't over. Not even close. Chapter 5. The truth. She never told me. Mike didn't sleep the entire night. 11 lay on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, breathing slow but shaky. Every now and then her fingers twitched, like she was fighting. Something even in her dreams. He sat on the floor beside her, knees pulled to his chest, watching her face carefully. When morning sunlight finally pushed through the curtains, 11 opened her eyes. "Mike, I'm here," he said immediately, grabbing her hand. "You scared me last night, El." She swallowed hard and looked away. "I didn't want you to see that part of me." Mike frowned. "What part?" "The part that still belongs to the darkness." The words hit him like a punch. Her voice cracked. "After I left you, after we stopped talking, I thought I was fine. But the upside down didn't leave me. It waited, it watched. And when I tried to forget everything, it reminded me." Mike felt his throat tighten. "So that shadow isn't new," she finished softly. "It's been following me for months." "Why didn't you tell me?" Her eyes filled with tears, glimmering in the light. "Because I hurt you, Mike. Because I rejected you when you needed me most. And I thought you deserved a normal life. Not a curse like me." Mike shook his head, voice trembling. "El, I never wanted normal. I wanted you." She exhaled shakily, a tear sliding down her cheek. "I'm scared you'll get hurt because of me." He cupped her face gently. "I get hurt when you're not with me. At least this way. We fight together." Her lips trembled. And for the first time since coming back, she leaned forward and rested her forehead against his. "Then promise me one thing," she whispered. "Anything. Don't leave, no matter what comes next." Mike didn't hesitate. "I promise." But before their hands could fully join, a deep rumble shook the house. The floorboards quivered. A cold breeze swept in, though all the windows were closed. 11's eyes widened. It found us again. And this time, it wasn't alone. Chapter 6. The shadow that knows her name. The rumble grew stronger. Picture frames rattled. The lights flickered. A cold, crawling wind swept through the room like invisible fingers. Mike instantly stepped in front of 11. "El, stay behind me." She grabbed his wrist. "No, if it came here, it's for me." The shadows in the corner of the room thickened, swirling like black smoke gathering a heartbeat. A distorted whisper echoed. "Mileven." Mike's blood ran cold. 11 closed her eyes, steadying her breath. Her voice shook, but she didn't back down. "How did you find me?" A deeper growl answered, not words, but a vibration that made the air feel heavier. Mike whispered, "El, don't talk to it." But she squeezed his hand. "I have to. It knows me. It always has." The shadow stretched upward, forming a vague shape. Not a monster like before, but almost human. A silhouette with empty, glowing cracks where eyes should be. 11's heartbeat trembled. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Vecna?" The shape jerked violently, as if the name woke something inside it. Mike froze. That can't be him." "It's not," 11 said. "It's what's left of him. A piece that broke free." The shadow lunged forward. Mike shielded her with his whole body, only for the shadow to pass right through him. He gasped and collapsed to his knees, choking on icy air. "Mike!" 11 screamed. She knelt beside him, hands shaking, panic flooding her face. The shadow spoke again. "You cannot run from me. You were made from me." 11 stared at it, horror spreading across her features. "What do you want?" The shadow extended a long, trembling tendril toward her. "To come home." "No," she whispered. "I will never go back." The air snapped like breaking glass. 11 rose slowly, eyes glowing a faint, dangerous gold. "You hurt the boy I love," she said, voice trembling with anger. "You followed me. You haunted me. You tried to own me." The shadow screamed, deep, distorted, trembling the walls. Mike lifted his head weakly. Don't do it alone." She turned. For a moment her expression softened. "You're not alone," he said again, breathless. "Not anymore." And with that she took his hand. And the room exploded with blinding light. A clash between past and present, between darkness and the girl who finally stopped running. Chapter 7. The Promise in the Dark. The woods felt different tonight, quieter, heavier, as if the leaves themselves were holding their breath. Mike walked beside 11, hands brushing, hearts beating faster with every step deeper into the familiar shadows of Hawkins. The world had changed. They had changed. But this place, the place where their story began, still remembered them. "Do you ever think," Mike began softly, "that maybe we met for a reason? Like the universe knew I needed you?" 11 stopped. The moonlight slid across her face, catching the shimmer in her eyes. "I think," she whispered, "that you were the first person who showed me what safe feels like." Mike's throat tightened. For everything they had survived, monsters, labs, lies, separation, this moment hit him harder than all of it. "You're my home, El," he said. "Always." She took his hand fully now, grip warm and trembling. "I'm scared," she admitted. "Scared that every time I love something, it gets taken away." Mike stepped closer, almost chest to chest. "Not this time, not us. I'm not going anywhere." A soft wind rushed through the trees. 11 looked down, then back at him. "Promise?" "I promise." Her eyes glowed, golden, fragile, powerful. She leaned her forehead to his, and for the first time in a long time, 11 believed him. Chapter 8. The night everything changed. Mike hadn't slept in days. Ever since 11 vanished from social media, no updates, no messages, he felt like he was drowning in worry. She always disappeared when she was hurting, but this time, something felt wrong. So he drove, hours across snowy backroads, all the way to the old cabin where she once lived with Hopper. The place looked abandoned, dark windows, fresh snow on the steps, and silence that felt too heavy. Mike pushed the door open. Inside, the cabin was cold, but not empty. 11 sat on the floor near the fireplace, hugging her knees, eyes swollen from crying. She didn't even look up when the door creaked. "Why are you here?" Her voice cracked. Mike stepped toward her slowly, afraid she'd disappear if he moved too fast. "Because you needed me," he whispered. 11 finally lifted her head, anger, fear, and heartbreak all tangled in those brown eyes he knew better than his own reflection. "You don't understand," she said. "I'm dangerous again, Mike. I'm losing control." "The headaches," The voices, they're back. Mike kneeled in front of her. Then lose control with me, he said. But don't face it alone. Mileven stared at him, just stared, like she wanted to believe him, but didn't know how. Then suddenly she flinched. The cabin lights flickered. A picture frame shook off the wall, and Mike finally understood. She wasn't just scared. She was terrified of herself. Mike, she whispered, I don't want to hurt you. You won't, he replied softly, resting his forehead against hers. Because I'm not going anywhere. Not this time. Her breath trembled, and for the first time in weeks, she leaned into him, letting herself be held. Outside, snow began to fall slowly, gently, like the world had paused to give them one quiet moment. But they both knew it wouldn't last. Something was coming, something darker than anything from Hawkins, and the only way they'd survive it was together.
If you want me to continue the story, comment below.